Formed in 2001, a friendship that had spanned years morphed into EOS. Chris Odili and Chuchu Nwajobi discovered there was nothing on Facebook that catered for the select group of people that grew up in the glory days of Coal City, Enugu.
I am blessed because I grew up in the glory days. And when he mentioned glory days, what were the glory days? The glory days of Enugu, when Enugu was one big family. So you could leave your house, go to your neighbor's house. Your parents weren't worried where you are.
After an intense phone call, the name EOS, Enugu Old School, was adopted.
The initial reasons for forming the group was we lacked a platform where people that grew up in Enugu could interact. With the advent of social media.
Initially, the aim was to plan reunion parties where members could meet up and network. The first one took place in London, and people came in from all over the world to be part of it. Membership grew, and it was decided that there was more to life than just partying, and that's when the charity goal was adopted. The question was, how do you translate a Facebook group into a cause for good?
The primary focus behind EOS is charity. We are a registered charity and we want to give back. Now when you say give back, how do you give back? So you give back to the less needy. We've decided, look, we need to give back to the same society that brought us up, the same society that created that environment where we found ourselves secure. We could walk around, there was no fear of robbery, kidnapping was very, very rare, crime was almost zero. Everybody was their neighbor's keeper. So we decided to give back. So we've started that, and over the years we've given back to various homes, various institutions, cash donations, and in kind.
In 2012, a small group comprising Nkolim Banefo, Kandi Beya, Ifeoma Ezechukwu, Ola Mbaiwe, Chuma Chigo, Chuka Diobi, Chuchu Nwajobi, Paddy Anibo, Ngozi Onwukeme, Nkiru Ekweme, Uju Nwosisi, and Edu Nwokolo, with the support of Og Nwakobi and coordinated by Chris Odili, embarked on a very ambitious project to visit motherless babies' homes in Enugu, Lagos, London, Jos, and Abuja simultaneously. This was done with huge success, and the lessons learned formed the need to intensify our charity goals. One of the first things needed was to have a formal structure, and after a lot of consultation, Enugu Old School was registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission as a non-profit organization. Following this, bank accounts were opened in London and Nigeria, more admins were appointed, and a dedicated charity was chosen by members. However, as anyone who grew up in Enugu is familiar with, Enugu parties with class, annual reunions were organized in addition to picnics. These reunions became the highlight of the social scene, with everyone in attendance. We also mourned our own. We formed groups that provided succor to bereaved members. We attended funerals and paid visits to families. We also celebrated births and weddings. We became one big Enugu Old School family.
EOS is ever evolving, and like any group, it will have its ups and downs. What matters to us are the core values of EOS, and that is being our brother's keeper.
In 2013, Enugu Old School embarked on its biggest project to date, the renovation of the Cheshire Homes for the Disabled in Enugu. The project was to renovate a dilapidated home for the disabled. Enugu Old School rose to the occasion and money was raised for this project. Enugu Old School is currently working with the management of the home to see this project through. What is the way forward? Enugu Old School will remain a charity and a forum for members to network and find recreation. Enugu Old School will also be a peer pressure group for good. We have done this by putting pressure on government to develop a world-class library, amongst others. We also were the first group to get confirmation that Ethiopia Airlines would use the Enugu International Airport. We have a social responsibility to be a voice for good. We are our brother's keeper and accept that we won't always agree, but will agree to disagree with respect. Over the course of the years, various people have served as admins or advisors.
We also expanded because people expand also. Some of these members had to move on, left London, some left where they were living to move to other places. And we realized that, change is inevitable. So some of them moved on. But what we have is still a core. So presently we have a structure that, in fact, we have one of the strongest structures we've had in the history of EOS.
Enugu Old School remains dedicated and resolute in its aims to give back to the society that provided us with succor and security.
2015 and the year after and the year after, EOS will see a growth. Already, we've got a plan in action for 2015. We've got a charity walk that's going to take place in Enugu. We're going to sign off on the Cheshire Homes project, give it back to them complete, and then we're going to embark on some ventures that have never been done before by any group in Enugu. So we will leave our footprint in the sands of time. And like I always say, EOS rules.